You are watching for the greater good.
Hello everyone, in this video we are going to discuss in detail the 8 steps to follow in every machine learning project, so let's move on. The first question to ask your boss is what exactly is the business objective. Building a model is probably not the end goal. How does the company expect to use and benefit from this model? This is important because it will determine how you frame the problem, what algorithms you will select, what performance measure you will use to evaluate your model, and how much effort you should spend tweaking it. You will have to determine whether it is worth investing in a given area or not. Getting this right is critical, as it directly affects revenue. Fortunately, after talking with the team in charge of system, you have made assumptions and answered the above questions. Great! You're all set, the lights are green, and you can start coding now. It's time to get your hands dirty. You need to select a programming language on which you are comfortable and create a workspace. R and Python are most commonly used languages in this field. There is tons of data online which you can download. Kaggle also provides datasets which you can access and download for free. After downloading the data, get familiarized with it. Take a quick look at the data structures used in data. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of the kind of data you are dealing with. Now, there are 2 types of dataset. One is trained dataset and other is test dataset. If you have only a single file of dataset, you will have to split your data into trained and test dataset. So far you have only taken a quick glance at the data to get a general understanding of the kind of data you are manipulating. Now the goal is to go a little bit more in depth. Look for correlations in your data. Plot scatter plot or histogram to see for outliers or to gain more insight. Identify a few data quirks that you may want to clean up before feeding the data to a machine learning algorithm. One last thing you may want to do before actually preparing the data for machine learning algorithms is to try out various attribute combinations. It's time to prepare the data for your machine learning algorithms. Instead of just doing this manually, you should write functions to do that. This will allow you to reproduce these transformations easily on any dataset, and you will gradually build a library of transformation functions that you can reuse in future projects. Most machine learning algorithms cannot work with missing features, so you will have to fix the missing values. Either you can set them to mean, median or mode, otherwise, you can get rid of the whole attribute. One of the most important transformations you need to apply to your data is feature scaling. With few exceptions, machine learning algorithms don't perform well when the input numerical attributes have very different scales. A sequence of data processing components is called a data pipeline. Pipelines are very common in machine learning systems since there is a lot of data to manipulate and many data transformations to apply. You can make use of pipelines to ease your task in data preparation. At last, you framed the problem, you got the data and explored it, you sampled a training set and a test set, and you wrote transformation pipelines to clean up and prepare your data for machine learning algorithms automatically. You are now ready to select and train a machine learning model. You can select many different models and run them. See which gives the best result. Let's assume that you now have a short list of promising models. You now need to fine-tune them. One way to do that would be to fiddle with the hyperparameters manually until you find a great combination of hyperparameter values. This would be very tedious work, and you may not have time to explore many combinations. Therefore, you can use different libraries to fine-tune your model. One of the example is Grid Search CV in scikit-learn. Analyze the best models and their errors. After tweaking your models for a while, you eventually have a system that performs sufficiently well. Now is the time to evaluate the final model on the test set. Now comes the project pre-launch phase. You need to present your solution, highlighting what you have learned, what worked and what did not, what assumptions were made, and what your system's limitations are. Document everything and create nice presentations with clear visualizations and easy-to-remember statements. Perfect, you got approval to launch. You need to get your solution ready for production, in particular by plugging the production input data sources into your system and writing tests. You also need to write monitoring code to check your system's live performance at regular intervals and trigger alerts when it drops. Finally, you will generally want to train your models on a regular basis using fresh data. You should automate this process as much as possible. If you don't, you are very likely to refresh your model only every 6 months, and your system's performance may fluctuate severely over time. These are all the 8 steps. Now, if you are having problems, we have already posted a machine learning project implemented using these 8 steps. Feel free to comment your queries. Till then, goodbye.